Good evening and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is June 2nd, 2017, not 2018, not 2016 like I sometimes say. It's June 2nd, 2017. My name is Lynn Marquidon and I'm your host. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you're here. Do you believe it? Another Friday night? I have so much to bring you up to speed on and we have so much sewing to do. But before I even begin, I want to make a shout out to Pat Hinga. We wish you good luck in your eye healing. Pat had surgery on her eye, and it's one of those surgeries whereby after you have the surgery, you have to put your head down for many days. So you can imagine, as an artist and as someone who enjoys seeing beauty in the world, putting your head down for days on end so that your eye can heal is not an easy task. So we're thinking of Pat. Send good vibes. Okay. Oh, I have so much to say. So much to tell you. As always, send me pictures of what you're working on. This is a virtual sewing bee to lmarquidant@gmail.com. Make sure to send them to me. Show me what you're working on. I have some things to share. First, I'm going to tell you about a doll class that I'm preparing for, and that should take me only a few more minutes. I need to get that done. And then we're going to go into another Dear Jane block. So if you want to prepare your Dear Jane, we're going to do L-2, Stephanie's Snowflake. So L-2, row L, column 2. But first, tomorrow and Sunday, I am taking a class with Linda Misa. And I've been introduced to her through the Textile Tarts. And that's what I'm preparing. We're going to make a giraffe type doll tomorrow. And it's going to be a combination of paper, clay, and fabric. And here is some of Linda's other work. You can look her up, Linda Misa, M-I-S-A. I couldn't find the giraffe quite yet, but we saw it in person today when we went to meet her for lunch over at Mary Ellen's. But there are some wonderful examples. She combines, and I'm sure there's a word for it, she combines human facial features with costumes of animals or anything else you can think of. So let's see, you can find pictures of her at tact, TACT-ILSE.blogspot.com. So I'll say that again. It's tactile.blogspot.com. And the way that you spell tactile is TACT-ILSE.blogspot.com. Okay, Linda Misa. So I'm looking forward to that. So what we had to do is, in preparation for tomorrow's class, I'm making the doll body, legs, and hands. And where I'm at is I need to stuff the body. I need to finish that right now and possibly turn the two legs. I just sewed them and I cut them with my pinking shears. And then the two arms. So they're all ready. We're not supposed to have these stuffed by tomorrow, but I think we're supposed to turn them. So I'm going to pull out my hemostat. And Sarah Kokanowski gave me a great tip today, which is not to sew the fingers on these hands until after I turn them right side out. And I'll show you what I mean. I might do that right now since I have this thread in the machine. So it's going to be a bit of a hodgepodge tonight, but you know, these sewing projects, if you don't just get to them, they pile up. Okay, I'm pushing out the thumb right now. And I'm trying to, and then of course, you know, work, that pesky little thing called work calls during the day. So when you're doing this stuff at night, you just have to get to it. And I have my trusty little iron here. I'm going to iron it. See if I can stretch the fabric a little. These will be nice and stuffed eventually. And then I guess we paint them with black gesso. Never heard of such a thing. Or black paint. And then we overlay colors on top. So I think it's going to give an interesting effect. All right, so let me look at the fingers here. Okay, see the fingers there? how they're the dotted lines there. They don't quite look the same. Let's see. Oh, that's why. You really are sculpting with fabric. All right, let me turn the other one over, and then we will go to Dear Jane. Sue Norton is cranking on Dear Jane. Many of you are, actually. Tell me, for those of you who have finished up the row by row mystery quilt, I'm interested to see what you're going to work on next. I'm proud of us. That was quite an accomplishment, that three months of mystery quilt making. And I have already done 2 Simply Colorful mystery quilt tops. So keep those rolling in. For anyone who might not have heard the offer, I am offering anyone who might have a Simply Colorful top that needs quilting, send it my way. All you pay for is shipping, and I will quilt it up for you. Send me the top and the back and lots of directions. Becca, I got your directions today. I love them. I'm going to share those with everyone later. The more specific you can be about what you would like, the better, and we'll work things out via email back and forth, and then we'll do it. And you might wonder why. What's the catch? Why am I doing it? It's selfish on my part. I would like to practice my long arm quilting. And if you have tops that you'd be willing to let me practice on, I would love that. And you get a finished UFO. And I'd rather quilt your quilts than just, I thought about, and I still will do that too, just doing like whole cloth quilts or putting just scrap fabric on and practicing. Okay, so let's iron this one, and then, oh, I heard a ding. Who's out there? Hey, Jean. Hi, Jean. Jean says, I'm so psyched to catch you live tonight. Oh, me too. I'm glad you're out there. I made a quilt top today for a client. Good for you. Oh, that's right. I have to unlock this so I can see Jean's whole message. Jean says, I made a quilt top for a client, attended graduation, and handed out diplomas. Yay, Grace. And I made it home by 7:59. FiberCast is my reward. Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like a really accomplishment-full day. And since you basically run this town, thank goodness for you, you got to give out diplomas? That's fabulous. Grace, for everyone out there, is my niece who graduated tonight. I'm so proud of her. It's great. And Grace is joining your daughter at BC next year, right? Sarah will have to show her the ropes. Okay. So here we have, I'm just going to do one more thing on my doll, and then we will switch to Dear Jane. Actually, 2 more things. I'm going to turn the legs too. The reason being I want to iron them while I'm here. Oh, I'm glad you're out there. And my sister KB is back from her travels to Alaska, which looked beautiful. And oh, and I put the camper quilt up behind us for 2 reasons. Number one, Sarah has been out looking at her new camper that she is having built and is going to start traveling around the country in. And also because it just feels like summertime and it's time to go out and spend some time at the campfire and just kick back, do a little camping here in the States. Of course, in Australia, it's getting cold. Allie, if you're out there, Allie Hale is down under, and I love, she posts various pictures. And one of her sets of pictures are views from her camper window from the bed. And I love that. Because when you think about it, if those windows in that camper could talk, what have they seen? Okay, so there are the legs. That's good enough for now. The hands, I just need to stitch. I'm going to lightly draw on them. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If I do the giraffe, the feet, actually, I guess I'm going to put, Linda teaches us how to take clay, paper clay, and put it over the stump of my leg, and I can make like a hoof for a camel or for a giraffe. So it's going to be an interesting day. Uh-oh. And my thread got stuck. Take 2. For anyone who might be new to FiberCast, FiberCast is just an opportunity for us to get together and sew together on a Friday night. We share stories, we share pictures, so send me pictures of what you're working on to lmarquidot@gmail.com, or you can send it to lynn@simplycolorful.com. If you send it to me at Simply Colorful, I won't show it on tonight's cast, but I will reply to you. My sewing machine, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. It's making a mess of those fingers, but that'll work. One finger. Since we're going to be piling on overlays of paint and clay, I'm not going to worry too much about this. Okay, I'm not going to cut the thread. Okay. Oh, so speaking of thread and sewing machines, Leah was the first one to send in her quilt. Actually, Jean was the first one. Leah was the second one. And we did Leah's, for those of you who are Patreon patrons, I posted the picture of the pattern that we used on her quilt, and it was very pretty. Her quilt, and it's all I could do not to post pictures of the quilt, but I wanted her to see it first. And Leah, it's on its way. It should arrive there tomorrow, according to the postmaster. I actually sent it back in the very same box you sent it to me in. Okay, 2 more. Then we'll switch over to Dear Jane. Oh, so little Gracie has graduated. Yay. Okay, so there we have hands. I am ready for my class. No, I'm not ready for my class. Remember my Barbara Willis stuffing forks? These things are awesome. They're what you can use if you're making a Raggedy Ann or you're doing any stuffed animal. These are great. They have a fork at the end, and it helps to push in the stuffing. So let's just finish this up. I know this isn't really what you came to watch, but hopefully you're working on maybe binding, or you're looking at a magazine or something sewing related, or you're sewing on this Friday night. Dawn, if you're out there, I hope you're out there. I miss you. I need to call you. So you can also use your finger, right? And boy, since I have been making dolls with this doll club, I am such a big believer in stuffing these dolls really full. I love when they have heft to them. So if I do the giraffe, what I really want to do is a dog. I really would like to do, and I thought about doing a black Labrador Retriever, but black is so hard, you can't really see the expression, so I'm going to do, if I can, I'm going to do a yellow Labrador Retriever. So the face is kind of human, and then it's like, I'm going to think of it as like wearing a Halloween costume and wear a golden Labrador. Anywho, what are you doing this weekend? Okay, it's starting to get there, although that needs, the corners are where you really have to just dig right in. So, I haven't brought you up to speed. I'm sorry I wasn't here last Friday night. I was coming back. I had a great week last week in Arizona at the Sheraton Wild Horse Pass. I think that's what it's called. Nice hotel, and we had a team meeting. Everything went smoothly. I got out there. We had the meetings. Left on Friday morning to fly home, Friday before Memorial Day weekend. And my flight, because we're saving money, of course, was a layover in Atlanta. So I had to go from Phoenix to Atlanta and then up to Boston. Well, I left Phoenix at 2:30 in the morning. And that's actually by my choice, because I like to get to the airport before a lot of the crowds and try and get through TSA and all of that before it just gets, the wait gets ridiculously long. So anyway, that all went smoothly. I left Phoenix on Delta and I flew to Atlanta, and I had a 1 o'clock connecting flight up to Boston. Everything was fine. Well, at the gate, they start to announce that they have an oversold situation. And I noticed there were a lot of people at the gate. It wasn't your normal, it just felt like there was more of a frenzy. It was Memorial Day weekend and people were itching to go from here to there. So they say that they have an oversold situation. And to make a long story short, they ended up raffling off or auctioning off seats to whomever would like to turn them in. And so, yep, yours truly. I ended up doing it twice on Friday. I sold my seat twice. I stayed in an airport down in Atlanta, in return for which now Bob and I can take a trip on Delta some other time. So it was kind of exciting. I'd never experienced that before. Quite the way they did it. And so that's why, so when I gave up my first seat at 1 o'clock, that was when I realized, well, my second flight leaves at 7 on Friday night. So there was no way I could have FiberCast. And then, of course, you have to wait around. Oh, I see how, I love that. It's getting really full. I did have my crocheting with me, so maybe I could have done it in the airport, but I thought best just to do it tonight. Give everyone a break. Okay, this is going really well. Do you believe how much fits in here? See, now that's still a little puffy. I want it really, really hard. And you run the risk of putting a hole in it if you push this too hard. But it's doable. And of course, you put your stitch down. I have it at 1.3 on my Bernina. Sue, if you're out there, I love the quilt that you gave to me today to quilt. Sue, also in our doll club, she's actually in a chorus, and they're going to, oh, you said where you're going to. Africa. So one of their members has created a quilt that I'm going to quilt for them, and they're going to raffle it off for their trip. But in the course of getting that from Sue today, I learned she has a Bernina. So Sue, I can't wait to see what you sew on it. I didn't know you sewed too. I tell you, these doll makers, they can do anything. Okay, this has got to be like watching paint dry. Exciting pod watching me stuff this. See, but it really is so instructional because these forks really allow you to get it in there good. And now I'll sleep better because I'm going to be prepared for my class. The last class I took, I wasn't prepared, and I don't like that. We should do a little survey. That's when, I discovered when it was a necklace making class, a doll necklace that Sarah had found these kits out in Arizona when she went there. So we made them, I think, two months ago at doll class. And that's when you're sitting there, you had homework, you're supposed to watch a video and learn how to do it. And I remember sitting there in the Northborough Library thinking, something's got to give. I'm doing too much. I'm committing to too much. Okay. All right. I keep saying that. I remember saying that. I was with my niece Alexa. I was probably sewing or doing something, and she was waiting for me to go to the store. We were going to go to the mall. And I think for many minutes, I kept saying, oh, we're going to go. Almost, we're going to go. Poor kid. The flowers are so pretty around here. We've had a rather rainy couple of weeks. So, and cooler than normal. So they're not going by too fast, which is lovely. Okay, we are ready for class. Let's put this aside and let's get started on Dear Jane. Here and here, move all of this out of the way. There and there and there. Okay, and that can go over there. Oh, Leah, thank you for this. I love the colors. In fact, that's where I'm going to put some of my strings. Okay. All right. First, I'm going to see who's out there. And again, we're going to do L-2 Stephanie Snowflake. So if anyone wants to do Carol, if you're out there, hello. Okay. Oh, yay! Speaking of Carol, Carol writes, "Hi, Lynn. I love the camper quilt on your wall. Thank you." And she says, "Again this week, I'm watching you do your magic with fiber. Happy sewing, Carol O." Oh, and are you doing magic on your end? I hope you're well. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. We need another sewing day. Okay. Oh, Leah. No way. So Leah sent a note. She said, "Here's what I'm working on after the row by row." Remember I just said, what are people working on? Leah says, "Hi, Lynn and Fibercasters. Brown bag mystery has been waiting for me. I have one more seam to join the center. Paper tag still on. Happy Friday, Leah." OMG. Look at that execution. I can see it in the camera. Leah, you do beautiful work. Look at how it looks like the supernova just looks like that starburst. Oh, I can't wait to see it without the tags, right? Oh, congratulations. That's good. Hey, Carol, over yonder. She says, "Watching live. Yay." She says, "Hi." This is from Carol Bell. She says, "Hi, Lynn and Fibercasters. I hope you are all well." She says, "I've not had a chance to watch live for about a month, and it's nice to be able to see you." Well, how nice. So Carol, okay, here we go. She says, "I've not yet finished my row by row quilt top, just the border to put on it." Oh, you're so close. "But I did finish the baby quilt in time for my niece's new arrival and am well on my way with the one for her 3-year-old. You're so good. Carol wrote before and she said, if she's going to make this new baby a quilt, the older, is it a brother or sister? The 3-year-old, her needs a quilt too, so that she doesn't or he doesn't feel left out. So we're going to get a look at them right now. She says, "I've been making 9 patches and have just finished the top. Pictures show bottom half as I've been basing it today." Okay. Oh, how neat. Oh, look at that. I want to make one like that. See that? Is it like an I Spy? It is. Oh, and I like your lattice work. And this top one, she says, "I've been making 9 patches. So there's the 9 patch. I see. And then you put it together. That is cool. Very nice. Thank you for sending that. Hey, Nancy. She says, "Hello, Lynn. Hi, Lynn. My name is Nancy, and I'm from Pennsylvania, in the suburbs of Philly." Well, hello. Welcome. Nancy says, "I just wanted to tell you how much I enjoy your live sessions." Aw, I'm glad you're there. She says, "I love how creative you are in so many different fiber mediums." Thank you. Some would say I'm a little scattered. I find myself laughing out loud at your wonderful sense of humor. Nancy says, I'm basically a quilter, but I'm branching out into wool applique, and I've just received my Dear Jane book. Thanks for these fun broadcasts. Oh, thank you for joining us, Nancy. So you have gotten the book. This is the book Nancy speaks of, and it's our Dear Jane book. I use mine as, are you going to use yours as a diary too? And did you get the software? Now, speaking of software, Ann H. over in the UK got the software, and she was asking me a question about using it. And I frankly, I love the software that goes with this, but maybe I wasn't quite clear about why I love it. And maybe there are limitations that I wasn't sharing because I didn't know them. So I don't use it to design any new quilts. All I use my software for is to print out the paper piecing patterns or the template patterns for my Dear Jane blocks. It is a little kludgier. It's hard to learn, but so Anne was having a little, she said the learning curve was pretty steep. And I said, well, frankly, the only reason I use it is to, instead of having to measure all of these by hand, I print out the paper piece patterns. And that's a godsend. It just saves me a lot of time. I'm still on track to finish this in 2020. So it's not gonna, it's not an overnight success, even when you have the software. But I'm psyched. Welcome, Nancy. Hey. Hey. Hey is for horses. Speaking of which, if anyone wants to become a patron, I have t-shirts that need new homes. So for $3 a month, you can get t-shirts. Go to www.patreon.com/simplycolorful. I'd love to send a t-shirt your way. And I'm so glad you're all out there. Ooh, Amy. Hi, Amy. Amy says, hello, FiberCasters. It's so good to be back to the sewing table tonight. Work has been heavy the last couple weeks, but now I'm back and excited to finish up some projects. Don't you love that? I get so itchy when I am away from the studio for a period of time. It is probably a compulsion. I feel like I have to get back here and get moving on something. So Amy says she's now back in the studio. She says, tonight I'm attaching binding to a half hexy table runner, hoping to finish this one up tonight. Oh, and she says, I'll enjoy hearing about your adventures with Dear Jane. Have a great weekend, everyone. Amy Russell. Oh, yes. Oh, I love your colors. I wonder how big that is. If it's a table runner, maybe those are like 6-inch hexies. Did you use an AccuQuilt maybe? Oh, and let's get to Dear Jane. That's so funny. We're halfway through FiberCast and we haven't even done a Dear Jane block, but Sue pulled us out. Sue Norton says, hi, Lynn. I'll be watching tonight. I've been working on row G. So Sue started this adventure it's got to be less than a year ago, and she's already down to row G. She says, I have the first 4 rows done, closing in on half of the center blocks done. Also, I plan on sending my mystery quilt for you to long arm. I've never had any of my quilts long armed, so this is exciting. Question, how big does the backing have to be over the size of the top? Excellent question. At least 5 inches all the way around if possible. I can do it for less, with less, and more is even a bonus. So hopefully that helps. And again, just send me your backing. You know, so if you have like 3 inches on either side and that's the width, that's fine. But ideally 5 on either side is what I'm learning is best. I'll supply the batting. Just send me the backing and your front. And I will send you samples of the thread color and different patterns that I think we can do. And I'm doing all over patterns. That's what I'm practicing. So it goes what they say edge to edge. So I'm really excited. And I wanted to share with you, with everyone, what Becca had sent as instructions that were really helpful to me. But first, I want to show everyone Sue's Dear Jane blocks. Look at this, not one. So I'll be lucky to get one done today. Look at those. And Sue, she labels them. So this is G4 is a 4-leaf clover. I actually have that one printed out right here. No way. Look at this. 4-leaf clover. That was going to be my next one. She does G4, the shutterbug, and then G2, Mohawk Trail, and G1, Hattie's Hen House. Hattie is such a Civil War name, isn't it? Oh, and speaking of Ann H., here she is. Ann says, hi, Lynn and all the FiberCasters. It's been a hectic week as it was half term and I've been looking after my 7-year-old grandson. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not alone. It just feels so hectic. She says, but I have found time to sew and I've been doing hand sewing. English paper piecing, it's great fun. I'm doing Millefiori, and I really am enjoying the process. She says, I'm adding a picture of the first 3 florets I'm working on. Lots of opportunity to fussy cut, but I'm trying to use up scraps. Ann says, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Love and quilty hugs, Ann. Hayward. Oh, I love these, and look at all those small pieces. Ooh, that looks great on the screen too. I cannot wait to see those all together, Ann. Very nice. And with your grandson, you said a grandson, right? Let me see. So you have, yep, 7-year-old grandson, you have had a busy week. Well, kick back and enjoy. So before I get started, I've at least printed out my pattern. I wanted to share what Rebecca sent to me for her row by row quilt. And I love this. So she says, quilting guidance for my quilt. And she says she's sending the quilt to me. And if anyone needs my address, send me an email, lmarquidant@gmail.com, and I'll send it right off to you. She says, description. It's a bright colored batiks on a taupish gray background. Back is lots of small pieces, stripes, pinwheels, and mostly pinks and blues with blue around the edges. I can't wait to see this. So she pieced her backing. She said, I consider block 1 from the first week to be the top of the quilt. The back can go either way. Okay, so now I know which way to position it. She says, you needn't center the quilt top on the back, especially if doing so would make the edges line up with a seam and cause you difficulty. You can shift it an inch or 2 side or up or down as you desire. She says, while I've done pieced backs before, I've never used such small pieces, nor made the entire back from little pieces. But for some reason, this felt like a make it from all the scraps kind of quilt. I couldn't agree more. I love that, especially because there's so much of your taupe on the front. The fact that when it flops over, you're going to see just a mirage of colors. I love that idea. She says, made it from scraps, so I went for it. There are some bulky intersections, and I'm hoping they will not cause you difficulty. Take it slow, fingers crossed. I will let you know, but that's good. Thread. I prefer cotton thread that blends with the background, taupe or grayish beige. It can be used front and back. Another option, if you think it would look better, is a variegated thread in bright colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Thank you. Again, I'm going to look and see what I've got and maybe order if I don't have the right color, and we'll figure it out. The density of stitching. So this was really helpful too. She says, I like quilting that is denser. I don't care for quilting that leaves big unquilted areas. And she even says about 2 to 3 inches would be my max for unquilted areas. That is incredibly useful to me. So if you have a feel for whether you like something quilted a lot or a little, that'll help me size it. The quilt design, she says, I was thinking of either a meander or hearts and loops or spools of thread. If you need more exposure to one of those than another, choose accordingly. If you want the simplicity of a meander or are looking to work on a more detailed design, you have options to choose from. She says, I prefer that the design not be directional. I agree with you because it's going to compete with the directions of the blocks. That's kind of where Leah and I wound up too. It should look good from any angle. You don't need to trim the quilt back after quilting. You can leave it as is, and I will trim it before I bind it in the background fabric. Now that's really good to know. Thank you for letting me know. Leah, when you open your box, you're going to see that I did trim your quilt up. It's the same size you sent it to me. I can do it either way, whatever anyone prefers. If you run into any problems or questions, let me know. Have fun. And thanks, Rebecca. Well, thank you for the opportunity and for the guidance. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's get sewing. I'm doing an awful lot of chit chat. I'm using blue here. Where are my good scissors? Don't want my good scissors. Okay. When in doubt, crease the paper. Oh, I'm definitely going to need scissors though. Okay. I packed them for my dog class tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to walk away from the camera and go get another pair of scissors because you know I do have more than one pair. They just don't seem to be right here in front of me. And I'll be right back. Okay, don't leave me. Don't leave me. I'm just going to get my scissors. Here they are. Here they are. I'm back. Okay, and I brought that in case we need it. And we will. Are you cringing because I'm using my good scissors for paper? How lucky are we that we get to do FiberCast, huh? Jane gives out diplomas by day, quilts by night. I bet Kelsey's out there. Kelsey from Blueberry Lane Studios has been cranking out the quilts herself. Okay, now we have all these pieces, and here's my backing. And you've seen me do this before. It is pretty fun. I cut out my random pieces. So this is how I do it. This one has 2 white pieces and then blue, blue, blue. Okay. This is going to look like penguin and fish. Have you seen the woman who does penguin and fish? She starts, I think, 9:30 every night. And I do stop and watch her. She has been making a quilt with lots of little pieces. And I think Sandra has done some of her embroidery. She has embroidery patterns at Joann's. That's about all I know. All I know about her. Follow your numbers again. So I'm looking at 1 and 2. And I am going to go up to 1.8. There we go. Push my little iron here. Can you see? No, you can't see my iron, can you? I'll have to move that over. It's tiny. Okay, so there's 1 and 2. And then 3 is the other side here. Iron and Do that. 2, 3, and then there's a little teeny tiny one here. In the corner. This piece is, it's like a quarter of a dime size piece. I have to show you this. So, well, you can see with my finger, maybe. That little piece right there is probably a quarter of an inch by a quarter of an inch. It's tiny. Oh, and I puckered my fabric. That's not, it's frowned upon. Frowned upon. Well, speaking of Philadelphia, to Nancy, who's out there, was just learning about a new exhibit that is coming your way. If I remember right, it's September through next year, so 2018. And it is the Terracotta Warriors. Sarah just saw the exhibition out in Seattle, and she said it was quite moving. And the way I understand it is there are these terracotta, oh, it keeps getting, oh, brother. In fact, let's see if we can look it up. Terracotta Warriors, I think is what it was called. And she was really taken by it, so it might be something that would be of interest. Terracotta Warriors. The Terracotta Army is a collection of terracotta sculptures depicting the armies of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. It is a form of funerary, Funerary, art, buried with the emperor in 2010 to 2009 BC. Okay. Let's see if we can get a picture. So apparently this collection is quite stunning and interesting, and it's coming to Philadelphia. Where's the picture of all of them? Sarah said they all look different, all the warriors. Here we go. Ooh. That looks awfully dark. Can you see that? So anyway, it's coming to Philly. How's that for a random fact? Huh. Okay. This keeps bunching up on me. This little 1/4 inch one. I'm going to go on this side then. What else? It's getting to be summertime where people are planning vacations around here. It feels like Grace is having her graduation party on June 12th. And I think it's a Sunday afternoon. So there's my first piece. going to do another one just like it. My 2 white pieces. There we go. Okay. Do another one here, and then I want to check, I haven't checked my messages. Okay, there's 2. Just one more. Go. The woman whose class I'm taking tomorrow, Linda Misa. If you're just tuning in, check out her doll at tactile.blogspot.com, and it's tact-ilse.blogspot.com. She has traveled here from Australia. She's giving doing 4 workshops. How lucky are we? Okay, there. There. At least, when it's overcast, I don't know about you all, but I feel a little less guilty not being outside in the garden when it's overcast and being in sewing. I wonder if they've ever done a correlation of the amount of sewing to the weather patterns. There's another one. Okay, before I go on, I need to do 2 more of that kind. Oh, look, 2 others go the other way, maybe. Let's see who's out there. Ah! I thought I saw KB. KB is out there, my sister. She says, hi, everyone. She says, it's so good to be back in the sewing room. I just webbed the row by row and am adding the final sashing. 1 more top for the batch. I'll be bringing to your studio one day soon. Yay! Oh, you're teasing me. I can't wait. We should compare calendars. Now, how about this? I have a software update question. iOS 10.2.1 is ready to install. When I click install now, then it tells me I'm not connected to the internet. Oh, maybe I have to literally have it plugged in to my computer, but I have Wi-Fi. It's the weirdest thing. See, it comes up terms and conditions. Okay, I agree. I agree. Okay. Let's see who else is out there. Make sure we catch everyone. Hey, hey, hey. I'm going to go to my bigger screen so I can show pictures. Oh, this will be a nice way to round out our evening. Oh, Sewing Kathy. Hi, Sewing Kathy. She says, Dear Jane, she says, hi, Lynn. Just to update you on my problem with the Dear Jane software. Oh, good. I was able to print the mirror image and make the A1 block. Oh, good. Good, good, good. So that's right. When I was traveling, Kathy sent me a note and said, I just did block A1, but it's mirror image. Well, she discovered how to print it in mirror. Okay. It now is in the correct direction. Has anyone else had a problem with the printing templates? I am like you, using it to print the templates. I saw the mirror image, but thought that if I checked it, it would be backwards. I totally get it. It turns out you have to check it in order for the block to come out the same as the quilt. Hope you know what I'm talking about. I definitely do. And you know what? While we have a minute or so left, let me look at my A1 and see if it's backwards, because I bet I didn't click the check. So, and I have to tell you right now, for the world to hear, if and when these are backwards from the original quilt, I am not redoing them. Please don't make me. Okay, A1. A lot of them are symmetrical though, so that could be good. A1 looks like, maybe here I have a color code, that'll be faster. Okay, so A1 is Pinwheel Gone Awry, and it's this blue, darker blue. Okay. It's here. Pretty sure. Here we go. Okay, Pinwheel Gone Awry, A1. Let's see. Yep, mine's backwards. So, what Kathy has just taught us is that if you want to use paper piecing with your Dear Jane software, which highly recommend, I love it, and if you want your blocks to look exactly the same order and shape as the original quilt, you have to click mirror image and flip it. Thank you. Okay. So let's put those there. Oh, Wendy. Wendy says from down under, hello, Lynn and everyone. I'm just sitting for a quick few moments and I'll watch you tonight, she says. Busy week again, but I will be spending as much time as possible at the machine this weekend to really get into Tiffany's wedding quilt, which is now 7 weeks away today. So I don't think I'll get it done, but I will try, she says. We've had a run of birthdays lately, along with everything else, so I haven't had much spare time. I know, your new job and you're traveling and golf and the kids. She says, hope you and everyone have a great weekend doing only the things you love. Well said. Oh, and Nancy, she says, yes, I did get the software, but haven't dived in yet. Excited to get started. Well, good. There you go. There are a few tips. And let us know what you learned too. Jamie says, I have not been able to watch. Hello out there. She says, I've not been able to watch a FiberCast since mid-April. My father was in hospital and passed away on May 8th. I'm really very sorry to hear that news. That's very hard. She also says, my arm after ulnar nerve surgery is finally starting to work better. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Today I was able to make one of 2 baby quilts for my cousin's twin girls due to arrive in September. I've attached a picture of it. Oh, isn't that something, Jamie? Very nice indeed. Look at this. Oh, I love that we're going to end on this happy children's quilt. Now, I see the hearts. I love what you did to that. Did you put ribbon there maybe? Love it. Very nice. Well, Jamie, that explains why you haven't been here, and we've been thinking. Thanks for sharing. And good for you. Stay busy. Do what you love to do. Okay, so I think that I might have time to do a little bit more. I'm going to put these in a safe, clean place soon. And actually, I might start doing what Sue has done and start sewing my rows together. Maybe the only way. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I think that we have run out of time. So I think I'll just cut this, and then I will bid everyone adieu with a recap. Taking a class with Linda Misa. I'll show you results next week. Pat Hinga out there, be well, heal fast. Everyone else, Jamie and team on your arm, everyone. Eat lots of protein, drink lots of water. Say good things. Do what you love to do. Let's see. Don't forget, we have t-shirts for any new Patreons, and send me those quotes. That's it. Happy Friday, everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a good week. Now I have to find my mouse.